Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Dr. Ray and I thought we would do something fun today. I got sent a really cool pet treat maker from the company Toptree to try out. Not sponsored, they just asked me to unbox it and share it with you. I get asked all the time to review things and I don't always do it, but this looked like a really cool product and I thought it would be a fun thing to share. I know a lot of you are big into or are considering cooking or making your pet's food, and I'm not a super proponent of that just because we know statistically 90% of home cooked diets are deficient. And so I don't want that for you. I know you guys have good intentions, but it's very hard to balance your pet's diet on your own. And so I think a good alternative to that, but also satisfy that desire to do something fun like cook for your pet, is to make treats. And so treats, because they are only supposed to be about 10% of your pet's daily caloric intake, you can get really creative and fun with them and not have to worry too much about what's in them. People ask me all the time, what's a good healthy treat? And my answer is the treats don't have to be healthy. It's like saying, well, what's a good healthy, dessert or chocolate bar? They're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be for fun. They're supposed to be in moderation. And so I think that this could be a good opportunity for us to have fun and make some treats for our pets. So we're going to be using the Toptree treat maker, and we're going to go over it. They gave me, with the unit comes this really cool cookbook. And it's got all kinds of recipes for dogs, cats, pocket pets, birds. And they get really creative with some of the things that they offer and the recipes that you can do. And then everything can be used or prepared in the unit. So it's got a way to cook the ingredients, it's got a way to blend the ingredients, it's got a way to dehydrate the ingredients, and it's really kind of a neat thing. So I was going through the book and I wanted my first treat experience to be a relatively easy one. It's separated, the recipes are separated by like holidays and seasons, and so I picked the autumn recipes here because we are in September. And so I picked the pumpkin oat crisp. And so what we need for this particular recipe is going to be a half cup of pureed pumpkin, which I just went ahead and got canned pumpkin, a quarter cup of oats, so I measured those out, and then a quarter cup of flour. So for those of you that are worried about organic and things like that, you can certainly purchase like organic ingredients if that is your fancy, so you can customize them with that. But it is going to be very important, and this is a reason why a lot of veterinarians shy away from the home cook thing. You have to stick to this recipe, and you cannot deviate other than maybe substituting organic for non-organic, because what we're going to do is we're going to count the calories so that we know that we are staying in that 10% calorie range for our pet. And so I did the calculations. If we did a half cup of this pumpkin puree, it's going to be 40 calories. If we do a quarter cup of the oats, that's an additional 75. And then a quarter cup of the flour is 110 kcals, meaning that this entire recipe is going to be a total of 225 calories. So you will have to do the calculations on how many calories of treats your pet can have per day. And so if you've not watched my video on how to calculate your pet's body condition score and resting energy requirement and how many calories they need per day, you're going to want to reference that video as well. I know that my dog, Foxy, she is going to be probably the tester, as well as my dog Carmen, and they are both around 20 pounds, which means their total daily allotment is about 300 to 400 calories. So that means they get a 10% of 400 is 40, so they can have about 40 calories per day in treats. And so I'm going to make the recipe, see how many treats come out of it, and then I'm going to divide that by 225 so I know how many calories per treat we have. And so with this recipe, we're going to mix all the things together. There is no cooking or baking. Started off with an easy one. And then we are going to spread that mixture onto the silicone pads that are going to go in the dryer aspect. It has 4 dryer shelves, so we'll see how many we fit on there. It does say you can add additional dried herbs and things like that, so you could do that. That's not going to affect the calories. And then we're going to have to dry it for 8 hours until they are completely firm and dry. So let's get started. All right, half a cup pumpkin puree, making sure that you are buying the pumpkin puree and not pumpkin spice. That's different. This is just pureed pumpkin. Then we've got our quarter cup of oats, quarter cup of flour, and then we're just gonna mix it up here. All right, now that we are mixed, we are going to apply them to the silicone pads in the drying container. And we are supposed to make them into small round discs. Now, here's the one of the little trays. I'm gonna put the silicone pad on top. I think since they can only have 40 calories, ideally I think I want to make these about 20 calories a treat so they can each get 2. So that means I need to try to make this stretch into 10 little dollops here. So let's see what I do. 10 on here. One more. Each one. Obviously, I could have probably weighed this out. Probably would have been a better way to do it, but it's our first time, so this may not be the perfect way. As we do more treat recipes, we'll become better at it, I'm sure. This might be a good recipe too for any of you guys that have pets with food allergies. Sometimes it can be hard to get treats. I can foresee this being an option. Not with using this particular recipe, because you have to be careful even with when you have a food allergic dog with even doing any of this, but you can actually usually buy the canned version of your prescription diet and do a similar thing where you dry it out like this and make it into a treat. So that is another helpful hint that I think you guys could utilize this for. I think it's nice also to have a dehydrator that is just for dog and cat food, because you may not necessarily want to mix your food like that. I had a little bit extra. I'm gonna add it to some of my smaller ones because we are up to 10. Okay, so I got them all plated up here and I'm going to load them in the machine now. Already loaded the trays up, they stack, so you get 1, 2, 3, 4, plus there's one in here that I did not use, 5 trays. The top is where you do the cooking. Here. Close that back up. Well, we're not using that today. This is the processor, which is right here, and then you have your controls. Let me go ahead and load. Here it is. You can see kind of size-wise what we're looking at here. We need to do air dry, and it said 8 hours. Air dry and auto set to 8 hours. So that's it. We'll come back, see what they look like. Okay, everything is done. Timer has counted down. We have our treats here. Pretty good, crispy. Time to try them out. Here, Foxy. Sit.
So I think this was a total success. I had a fun time. I hope you guys had a fun time too. If you want to check out the treat machine from Toptree, the description box will have the details. Bye.